Welcome to another edition of Dan Frequently Asked Questions. We're now going to be discussing headache after diving. Is it decompression sickness or not? Keep watching. Thank you for the question. The question we had was in a diver who'd been diving in Phuket and had developed a headache after doing a dive in which they did not perform all the aspects of safe decompression or safety stop. And they then developed a significant headache towards the later part of the day. And in spite of going to the emergency room, getting intravenous therapy, nothing seemed to touch it. And the doctor in Bangkok seemed to think that this was not decompression sickness, and therefore recompression was not advisable. Well, of course, it's impossible for me to presume all the scenarios, but what I can say is that headache and lasting headache per se, in the absence of any other symptoms, is unlikely to be decompression sickness. Typically, injuries to the brain are painless, and if there was a bubble obstruction of the blood vessels of the brain, you would have known all about it because it would have affected vision or various other functions in the body. What appears to me more likely is that perhaps flexion or extension of the neck may have triggered an occipital headache, which can sometimes be a very, very severe headache and may become such a serious form of migraine that people can sometimes struggle with it for not only weeks, but even months. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you've had, but what I can tell you is that headaches are quite common in diving, particularly related to certain positions of the head. What I would recommend, though, is that prior to resuming diving, you possibly see a neurologist just to make sure that there are no long-term consequences as a result of this. Clearly, it's not a good idea to dive with a headache, whether or not it's being treated with medication, because that would be sedative, and then to see whether perhaps positioning your cylinder on your back or doing the other maneuvers that can assist in either determining what the cause of the headache is and also assisting in avoiding those from reoccurring. There's a whole chapter that I've actually written on headaches and diving that I'd refer you to in Alert Diver. So look that up, and there are a number of sessions of frequently asked questions that we've dedicated to this. So I would suggest that you, at this stage, are no longer concerned. It's 7 days afterwards. Headache's been the only presentation. There's nothing else from what you've told me. So I agree with the doctor in Bangkok. It's unlikely to be decompression sickness, but that doesn't mean it's trivial. It means it still needs attention and solutions can be found. And there are sometimes even injections, depending on where the headache is, to numb the nerves to alleviate a particular form of headache. I hope you have some good news and better answers, and make sure this is resolved until you join the rest of you, for whom I say until next time, safe diving.